Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want to have a look at a cryptocurrency that's not very popular at all. Now, I think this is going to be a bit of a weird one. I don't want to make this a regular thing on the channel. I want to mainly cover the general cryptocurrency space and the big players like Bitcoin, Ethereum, sort of the top 10 altcoins maybe occasionally. But today I want to make a video on a project that I've actually followed for a very long time. And that crypto is called Hydra. Now Hydra is currently going through a very bad patch, and even its market cap has dropped quite a lot. There's been a big sell-off recently, and I'll get into why in a minute. But it's currently sitting around the 800 mark, market cap wise, which is very unheard of sort of low cap crypto. Especially in these times now when it's sort of, everything's on a 99% discount from its all-time high, if you get me, and anything that's not in the top 500. So it's a crypto that I've been following for a while. And actually, before I say in this video, I do want to sort of go over a little bit the history of the coin, the project, its goals, and then a sort of medium to long-term outlook on the coin and a short term. But jumping straight into it anyway, as you can see, really not great price action the last few months, really, all of this year. I mean, we had the Santa rally like we did with the whole crypto space, but as you can see, Hydra did not hold up. And this is actually a very similar picture with a lot of altcoins, even the top ones. I'll show you later on, but a lot of them had this boost, and they kind of got left behind where Bitcoin and sort of Ethereum as well kept going up. And of course you always have exceptions, like Matic has done well this cycle so far, even though it recently did take a big hit on the news that what was it? Oh, the SEC filing a lawsuit against Binance, for the selling of unregistered securities, and it listed a load of market cap cryptos, top market cap cryptos, like I know Matic was one of them anyway, I think. I remember Filecoin, Ada, I think. I can't really remember, to be honest with you. Algorand, maybe? I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But basically plummeted the whole market, even though, everyone knew it was coming. So it was a bit of an overreaction, and we did see in a lot of the higher market cap cryptos they actually recovered, and now they're doing fine again. So if you wanted a quick flash sale, it would have been a good time to buy Bitcoin anyway. But anyway, back to Hydra. It's a proof of stake network, and the whole point of Hydra was to sort of tackle the total supply problem. So where Bitcoin and things like Cardano have an XRP, have max supplies. I think Cardano's is 45 billion, Bitcoin is 21 million. Hydra doesn't have a max supply. Similar to Ethereum at the moment, I think. I don't think Ethereum has a max supply. So it can swap from inflationary and deflationary states, and it basically does this where Hydra has blocks. So, when a block is mined, rewards are given to the miner who finds the block. But it also controls what happens with trading fees. So, if we're in good times, trading fees will go to the miners, or if we're in bad times, it will burn the trading fees to create the coin more scarce, moving from inflationary and deflationary states. Which is good, I think, to be honest with you. Like Bitcoin, I mean, because there's a limited amount of supply is what drives a lot of its price. Now, I know nowadays people are seeing it as a decent store of value, depending when you invest in it. And, obviously you can transact without borders, and there's pseudo-anonymity involved as well. But, if there was unlimited Bitcoins and miners could just keep mining them, Bitcoin would definitely not be the price it would be today. So with Hydra, technically there is a maximum supply, because once inflation reaches a certain point, trading fees will be burnt, destroyed, the chain will become deflationary, and that max will never be met. But at the same time, it means that when you hit that maximum supply, like Bitcoin, when it hits 21 million, there are no more block rewards. So suddenly, mining becomes a whole lot more unprofitable. Whereas with Hydra, you can sort of temper that out throughout the time that you mine, which is a good idea in my opinion. I actually mine myself. I do hold Hydra, full disclaimer. I have little Raspberry Pi 4, 6 gigs that I set up, just, staking away there. It gets me, I can't remember what it gets me actually. It was 40 something anyway, I think 47% APY, which is mad. And to me, that has always screamed red flags. I've always considered myself a very savvy sort of, I know I'm in the crypto space, so I shouldn't say I don't take stupid risks, but in general, I think I'm pretty, I'm decent at spotting a scam. And when I first saw Hydra, it was something where, okay, I was on KuCoin actually. That's the exchange that I first started using back in 2020, end of 2020. That's the one I started using, and Hydra was listed on it after a little while, or I noticed it after a while, and they were advertising mad returns then. It was something like 60%, maybe even 80% APY. And I thought, why not? I'll throw a tenner into it. If anything happens, it'll be fine. No complaints. And if, it's a shit coin, it goes to zero, no problems, I've lost a tenner sort of thing. But it got me interested in the coin, and then I started actually looking into it. I started learning, who is developing the coin, who is working on it, who they actually, how many people they have employed, and what's the actual goal. And it kind of enticed me, and I loved the idea that you could set up your own node yourself with a $40 Raspberry Pi board and just stake what Hydra you owned. That really appealed to me. I'm very into the idea of decentralization and spreading power. I think that's really the way things are going to go. I know governments are going to try to stop it. I don't blame them. If I was corrupt and them, I would do the same, But I don't think you can stop this now. I think too many people know about decentralization from Bitcoin, from Ethereum, even though Ethereum is very not as decentralized as it should be. So yeah, basically I'm a big fan of the project. I think it's going to do well. I'm hoping that it recovers, but this recent sort of downward price action is because of a recent proposal that was beginning of, I think, it was the 2nd of June when the vote was passed, and the vote was on whether to upgrade the Hydra network to sort of like, to be able to scale. So a few changes were made, transaction speed was increased, transaction fees were reduced, staking rewards were changed with how they work, but there are a few cutbacks where the little fish like me wouldn't be able to keep staking Hydra because we wouldn't have good enough hardware to run it, and to become a validator you have to have astronomical amounts of Hydra. So there was very sort of a lot of turmoil in the community anyway, and of course a lot of Hydra's community is people like me that are sort of enjoy the money that it generates on the side, even though really I'm at a loss from when I bought the bulk of my Hydra. Who enjoy a bit of money on the side, but also enjoy, fiddling with electronics, setting up the Raspberry Pi, contributing to the network and keeping it decentralized. It's a good little project, and it's nice to tinker away at, and also to see it. It's a bit of, I felt, accomplishment when I finished it. So taking that away from the community is basically what's led to this big sell-off because all these small fish are basically not going to be able to get their Hydra percentage rewards without delegating it, which is, you know, basically giving up the decentralization that you're contributing to. So I totally understand why people are doing it. Which sort of, you know, paints a pretty grim picture from the all-time highs of $51, you know. I usually look at charts in euros, so it's around 40 euros for any European viewers there. But $51 all-time high, now down to below $1. So, getting back to the sort of price analysis here, we've broken the $1. So really the resistance now is very little. But at the same time, so is liquidity. So I don't think, really, there's going to be a lot of people willing to buy the coin at these points, which I think is stupid. I'm going to be buying, I have been buying the coin at these prices. And I do, that's because I believe, of course, it'll go back up. I have faith in the project. I do think, ultimately, even if I have to sacrifice my Raspberry Pi node, I think it is the better thing for the project, that it sort of upgrades to this scalable, fast, EVM compatible chain that can, you know, be competitive and attract developers. A lot of the update as well changed the code base as well, so you can now have Hydra in a MetaMask wallet. So yeah, a lot of good features really. It's just mainly the decentralization that's being compromised, which I would sort of argue is the most important of a network, along with security. But in early days, sometimes move quick, break things is the best way to go. Now, I don't know. I can't see the future. I'm not a fortune teller. All I'm here is looking at the chart and saying what I think might happen. And ultimately, I think long term, we will go back up. But what I wanted to look at was actually ADA. And I wanted to compare ADA to Hydra. Now, on this chart here, we have ADA here. This is the price action of ADA. And then in yellow, we have Hydra. Now, of course, they only have data for Hydra in 2021. I'm pretty sure it started before that, but I'm not actually sure. I should check that, but I'll let you guys know afterwards, or you can go check it yourself. I'm sure I'll end up doing another video on Hydra, so you can have a look. But what I wanted to show you was the sort of price action of ADA in its first run, when it was at similar prices to Hydra now. Now, am I saying that Hydra is going to follow ADA's price action? No, definitely not. I do not know that. And to say that because ADA, the previous bull run, had a similar, you know, went through a similar pattern, so therefore Hydra will do the same, is stupid. I think that's very dumb. There's so many headwinds, macro and crypto, that could just, you know, just because it's a good project doesn't mean that it will actually succeed. So anyway, I wanted to compare here. We had our first peak, sort of where we go down. Then we had our second peak here. Third peak. And then capitulation, really. Fourth drop. And then basically nothing for the rest of the year. Sorry. And now I want to have a look at Hydra's current price action. So we had drop, 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 drop. And if we look at Hydra currently, we have drop, drop, drop. And really, any of these could be considered a drop. Because, I mean, even if we have a look from this peak here, that's a drop of 60% there, which is stupid, you know? But also here, if you want to go from this point, we can see Hydra's dropped 50%. So these big moves over short periods of times, 50 days, a month and a half, 50% drop, that's a lot. But we can see that it sort of follows this general crypto market sentiment where Hydra did last year and is sort of doing again this year. Let me just remove this. Drop, 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 another drop here. It's very loose, basically what I'm saying. There's no sort of... I just wanted to have it as a comparison to show you that markets often, all altcoins, sort of follow the general trend of when Bitcoin peaks, they peak slightly afterwards, and then they do what Bitcoin does, but at a much worse rate. If we get Bitcoin up, we can see, again, Bitcoin peaks first, then Cardano comes along. Then Cardano peaks first, actually. I didn't know that. And then Bitcoin peaks afterwards. Usually it's Bitcoin that leads these, and then altcoins 10x, 100x, whatever afterwards. And then Bitcoin goes down 20%, and the ass falls out of the altcoins. They just plummet, That's when you have all this new money in the space wanting to get on the hot new trend, and they just basically buy the bag of the people that are watching this video now, that are in the space at sort of the worst times and have bought cheap. And that's why I did want to make a video about Hydra, because hopefully, if I'm still making videos, which is the plan, in 2 or 3 years, I want to be able to say, hey guys, look, I know it was very strange to do so, but for all you early viewers, I made a video about Hydra. I made you aware of it so that you were able to do your own research. I sort of pointed out that, yes, it's very possible that it could go nowhere. A lot of good projects have just died because macro and crypto headwinds are too strong and they just don't pick up again. But I want to be able to say, hopefully, that when this coin goes back up in the next bull run and we test all-time highs, or even if we get to half of that, even if we get to $25, if you pick up 50 quid of that now, you're having a 25x, which is, if I do that maths in my brain very quickly, 255, you're looking in the area of 1,250 quid there for 50 quid investment. Now again, that's totally possible that it won't happen. Definitely. It's a very high possibility that it won't. But me personally, after learning about the project, doing my own research, looking at developers, looking at the history of the community, following the community for a long time and being in the community, getting involved with the project, I do have confidence. So, yeah, long-term, medium-term sort of analysis, I see, I'm just going to get rid of these bars. I see very much a sort of, like most altcoins this year, I don't see anything happening really till 2024, and then I think it'll be sort of the Bitcoin halving that brings Bitcoin up. We'll see Bitcoin sort of rally up, and we'll see everybody be lifted up with that, whether it's a bit later or not. And then I think we'll see a bit of hype drop out of the altcoin space. I think Bitcoin's going to be the one that leads us into the bull run. And then I think while Bitcoin will continue to climb here, altcoins will drop. And then when Bitcoin explodes somewhere, end of 2024, I think altcoins won't be far behind that. So I think maybe by the time it's, here, we could be seeing solid price performance. Anyway, it's just I just wanted to make you guys aware of the project because I think it's very unheard of, and I think it deserves more attention because it's got a good foundation, it's got a problem that it's solving, it's got active development, it's got a solid development team, they're very communicative with the community, and, you know, having known a few of them for a while, or, you know, read their texts in the Telegram, Discord, I just feel it deserves more recognition for the hard work that they're putting in. So hopefully you guys check it out, and, you know, whether you decide to pick some up or not, that's up to you. Totally fine. But if you're still watching at these bear market depths, I still think we've got pain, to be honest with you. Sorry, that's not right. I think we're still going down short term. So if you want to hold off buying for a little while, you'd probably be smart to do that. I'm sort of doing the same as well. I've picked a bit up here because I'm like, you know, this is amazing discount for me. So I've already picked up a load here, but I'm also saving some dry powder for when I believe it will inevitably go even lower, which is fine by me. The project will survive, I hope, I think. It'll be able to weather this poor price action. And, like, also I'm just getting this coin that I believe in cheap. So there is no problem with that for me. Anyway, guys, thanks again for watching. Again, another weird video, but don't worry, I don't want to make this channel all about, you know, abstract, very unheard of altcoins. I'm going to mainly stick to, like, the broad, you know, crypto market movements in general, sort of the top coins, biggest market caps, movements. You know, maybe occasionally I'll do another video on Hydra in a few months or so, or if we see any significant price action, or if there's an event coming up. But mainly I'm just going to stick to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and, you know, the top 10 altcoins sort of thing. I want to have a look at a few other things. The next few videos I plan on doing BTC ETH sort of pairs, and I want to have a look at BTC dominance as well. I think that's very important. Dominance needs to go up for BTC, but I think it will continue to go up, but I don't think for much longer. I think we've got 2, 3, 4 months left of BTC dominance, and then I think we'll hit a wall where, in general, alts will bleed from Bitcoin. But I think a lot of that money will go into Ethereum instead of Bitcoin, I think. But that's another topic for another video. Anyway, thanks again for watching, guys. Really appreciate it, as always. Hope you have a great weekend, and yeah, see ya.